Hey everybody, it's Jax again from the Popcorn Review Podcast. This is my episode 70. We're gonna talk about a couple shows here, both kind of like murder mysteries or a mystery. One is It's All Her Fault. It's on Peacock right now. Season 1 is complete, so you can watch the whole thing. If you have Peacock, just binge watch it. Um, it's been out for a while, so if I spoil it for somebody, I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna get into it. Um, the way the show starts off shows a mother getting out of her car, walking up to a house, knocking on the door or ringing the doorbell and asking for her son. Well, the lady who's there says, "There's no one here by that name." So on the first episode, her son was kidnapped. Literally, like not even 5 minutes into the show, boom, her son is kidnapped, and you're like, "What the hell is going on?" So this show has so many turns and twists. Every episode leading up to the final shows you or makes you believe it's someone else's fault. The wife, the husband, the best friend, the brother-in-law, the sister-in-law. Someone has something in their past or even their present that's made to believe during the show that they were the ones who caused this to happen. At one point, they said it was the wife, the mom, because her company's doing bad, that she lost money for someone and they came after her because of it. Um, The other one was because the husband, he had an affair and he was cheating on his wife. So the person tried to blackmail him by kidnapping his son. The best friend of the wife, he was embezzling money or gambling or something to that effect. And he owed people money. So they thought someone was trying to get back at him by kidnapping his partner's friend. The sister in law, she was really broke. So they thought she helped kidnap the child because of that. Um, There's a friend of the family. They also thought she had something to do with it because it ends up turning out that her babysitter is the one who kidnapped the son. Whoa. Whoa. So this woman, they did a little backstory on her. She actually lost a child way back when, about a year or two a year ago, and she starts working for this agency to become a nanny, a live-in nanny. So that family brought her in. She was watching their son, didn't do nothing to their son, never was bad to their son, never hurt their son, nothing. Was a great nanny. But she kidnapped the other mom's nanny. So this is the mom who her son was kidnapped, and this was the lady who hired the girl who kidnapped her, unknowingly knowing that she was going to do that. Now, like I said, a bunch of twists and turns. Um, when you find out who the fucking cause of this was, you're gonna be like, "You're a piece of shit, bro. Like, what? You started this? This is your fault." Um, Highly recommend. I would give this like a 9, maybe even a 10 rating on this show series. I'm pretty sure they're gonna have a part two, just the way the end ended. Um, so let's just say that the name of the show is a little misleading. Okay. So, yes, the nanny kidnapped someone else's child, right? But, but it wasn't their child. That shit had me going, guys. So, yes, she kidnapped someone else's child, but it wasn't their child. It was the nanny's child. Yeah. So, this entire time, this name of the show was called It's All Her Fault. It was never her fault. It was the husband of her. They had a son years ago. The son's about 5 now. Years ago. And on the way home, they had an accident. The nanny also had a son years ago on the same day. The boys were born on the same day within minutes of each other. They left the hospital the same day. The one mom who's the nanny is a single mom. The boyfriend or husband didn't stay in the picture, but the other couple that lost their child get into an accident. They T-bone the single mom and her daughter and their son. The husband gets out the car. I'm telling you, this husband's a piece of shit, guys. Honestly, he gets out the car. He calls 911 and he checks his wife. His wife's unconscious. Their child is dead. He checks the pulse. The son's not breathing. He goes up to the other car where he T-boned the car for the single mom, checks her pulse. He thinks she's dead or at least unconscious, so he doesn't bother her, but he hears the baby crying. So what does he do? He switches the babies. Piece of shit, guys. He switches the babies, takes his newborn son, who is now deceased because of the accident, puts him into the car with the single mom who's unconscious, and takes her child and puts it in the car with them because he didn't want to lose a son. Are you fucking kidding me, bro? You didn't want to lose a son. You just ruined that other lady's life. Like, that guy is a piece of shit. And they made you believe it was him in episode 2 or 1 or 2. They made you believe it was him to come back full circle. And it was that motherfucker's fault the whole time. So again, all her fault title is misleading because it wasn't her fault. It wasn't the wife's fault. It wasn't the nanny's fault. Because by definition, you can't kidnap your own kid if somebody kidnapped them from you first. At least that's how I'm looking at it. Somebody might be, nah, that's crazy. I get parents sometimes kidnap their kids, different situations, bad home life, someone's mad at the spouse, something like that. I get it. But this scenario here, the husband was a piece of shit. Switch the bodies of the children. So he made sure his family was intact, not giving a shit about the other family. Even when the kidnapping happened, he blamed his wife. Oh, this is your fault. You didn't do this. You didn't make sure that you knew who was picking him up, who was doing this, who was doing that. And when the cop saw that, the cop was like, well, what'd you do, sir? Did you sign your kid up for school? Do you drop your kid off? Put that guy on blast. And he was like, no, my wife does everything. He was like, so why are you going at her like that? But again, the husband is a piece of shit. Oh my God. Cannot stand him. Cannot stand him. He is the reason that all this had happened. The lady, the nanny, was straight up like, yo, once I met him, I knew that was my son. And she was right. They had the same genetic disability, needed the same medicine. She knew that was her son just by his eyes. For 5 years, thought her son was dead until she met the little boy at the school because she was a nanny for another child. How crazy is that? An amazing fucking show. Amazing show. Like, I can't believe this show. And the father gets what he deserves. In that sense, it was all her fault. The wife kills her husband. He has a peanut allergy. I think it's a peanut allergy. I know he's allergic to something. She ate it. She kissed him. And while she was kissing him, I think she either blew into his mouth or just made sure she kissed him really good and forgot the EpiPen and he died. So in that case, that was all her fault. But the whole story about the nanny kidnapping the child, it was her child to begin with. Yeah, she did it wrong. She shouldn't have never kidnapped that baby or that 5-year-old. But in a sense, I get why she did it. Somebody took her child from her first. She was just trying to get her son back. Crazy show, guys. Fucking 10. I know my reviews may not be great, you know. But honestly, I'm glad it was a TV show, not a movie. I feel like a movie would have been too quick. Maybe 2 hours max would have been really quick. This kind of showed you how everybody in that family, or at least in that friend group or family group, had an opportunity to kidnap that child. And they were right. It happened because of someone in that room, and it was the father. Piece of shit father. Even when they got their son back, the girl went to give herself up. Had a gun to him, went to give herself up, was gonna put the gun down. He grabs the gun and makes sure he kills her so she couldn't tell her side of the story. But the husband told the wife. So she took it upon herself to make sure his death was all her fault. But they can't prove it. So again, title is misleading. The kidnapping or of the child was the husband's fault. Made it believe like it was the wife's fault. Blamed the wife constantly over it. Oh, you're not paying attention to him. You're not watching him. You're worried about work, even though her job paid for their lifestyle. That's the craziest part. Her job paid for the lifestyle, and he still didn't help with shit. But great show. Highly recommends on Peacock. All her fault, but it wasn't. Please watch the show. Please watch the show. The other show was His and Hers. This is like a murder mystery. This one has some comedy and a lot of drama. The way the show starts is episode one, somebody dies like right away within like 5 minutes. They don't go into detail on how the individual died, but they definitely show that someone died. Now, the crazy part is this show too also makes you think it's this person, it's that person, it's the husband, it's the best friend, it's this, that, and the third. And for a while, you was like, yeah, it could be that person. No, definitely that person. But it's the person you least expect. Now, this show's brand new. I don't want to give away too much, but I also give this show about a 9. I definitely see a season 2 coming out. It could have been one of those limited series, but we'll see. Um, Great show. So she's actually a reporter. He's a detective in town, and they're actually husband and wife. So I'll give that away. I don't want to give away too much, but I'll give that away. So the husband's investigating this murder. Someone in town just so happens it happened to be her friend, but they're also an estranged married couple. So he's sleeping with her friend. Huh. Get a little messy, huh? And the town is just crazy. It's a small town, so everybody starts like, "Oh, well, this is your fault. This is that fault. This all happened because of you. How are you, detective, and you don't know what's going on? Like blaming the cop now." And for a while, you made you think it was the reporter, the detective, because he was sleeping with her, the lady's wife, the lady's husband of the wife who died, some of her friends, and all of a sudden, another murder happens. You're like, "Damn." The whole time we thought it was y'all two and y'all was together. So who the fuck killed this person? Now there's a serial killer going on in this show. About eight episodes long, but there's a murder, and a second murder. Now every time someone is murdered, they have a friendship bracelet stuck in their throat. That's one thing they have in common. So that's how they figured out that there was a serial killer in town, or at least coming to town. Um, so the one girl died by stabbing a bunch of times. The other girl, I think her throat was slit, if I'm not mistaken. And then the other girl, because there's a third girl who also dies, which is the cop's sister and was her friend. So all the three girls who died was her friend. But the last one who died, who ended up getting her wrist cut and then drowned, was the cop's sister. They have a couple flashback episodes showing that the reporter was friends with all these girls, but they were like the mean girls in town. They treated people like shit. They made one girl drink some girl's urine. Then they announced it to the cafeteria. They took pictures of this girl and like sold pictures of this girl to these grown men. Part of this show, there is, I would say, trigger warning. There is a rape involved in this show. So if that bothers you, I recommend fast forwarding when it comes to that episode or possibly not watching the show. So just a heads up on that. Um, but the whole time you think it was one of the girls that was murdered. Oh, well, one of the girls that they were picking on was the one who they allegedly say that rape happened to her, but it didn't. It happened to one of the other four girls. And the other three girls caused it. and watched it and actually paid the men to do it. That's how disgusting these fucking 16-year-old girls were. Honestly, if I was the parent, I would have killed each and every one of those fucking girls. And that's coming from a parent. And the reason why I bring that up, because a mother's love is really strong. So I definitely recommend this show. I gave it about a 9. Definitely recommend this show. Let's just say a mother's love is never gone. And in mother's love, she made sure that her daughter knew that she did it for her. So again, don't want to spoil too much. Hopefully that kind of gives you what was going on. But highly recommend both of these shows. All Her Fault, little misleading with that. His and Hers, didn't really know what that meant, honestly. They were always at each other's throats for the most part until they got back together. Both decent shows. Give All Her Fault a 10. I give His and Hers about a 9. This is more of like a murder mystery. This is more like a kidnapping mystery, but both decent shows. I think All Her Fault's going to have a part 2. Not sure about His and Hers. The way it ended, I could see it happening because there is a serial killer in town and they may not be done, So we'll see. Both decent shows. Hopefully I didn't spoil it too much. Again, trigger warning for His and Hers. A lot of this is caused because of a rape. So again, just want to say that again. I don't want anybody to try to watch the show and then be upset at me later. So just know that that's part of the show. But both decent shows. Definitely recommend it. Recommend both. His and Hers, Netflix, All Her Fault, Peacock. Both of them. Season 1 is complete. Again, didn't want to give too much about His and Hers because it just came out in 2026. His and Hers been out, I think, since middle of last year or October of last year. So been out for a few months. If y'all haven't watched it, now's your time. But again, recommend both shows, guys. Thanks for watching. Have